Welcome to Thoughts for Growth, your 5-minute or so spark to see our world differently. Brought to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays by K-Wave 6 Radio. Now, here's today's thought.
Think of the future that we could create. Face the facts today. There's a better way. There's a better way.
Good morning. I have an apology to make. This week being the last week of October 2014, I had forgotten that we down here in Mexico change our time from daylight savings time to standard time differently than the United States, Canada, and probably many other northern countries around the world. I caught on to the fact because I was making appointments with people in the United States on the East Coast, and we're on Central Time, and all of a sudden they're 2 hours ahead of us, and that didn't make sense. But it got me thinking about how we measure time and how time is a measure for us in many different ways. It can be in success, things that we have to do. We make an issue of wasting time. We just get caught up on what is, and we don't seem to assign value to it. Now, there is, depending on who you're speaking with and what the subject is, we speak about time in different ways. We talk about cosmic time, we talk about God's time, we talk about our time and what we should be doing in the time that we have and wasting time, and it drives us literally batty. Because people start feeling guilty because I didn't do this when I had the chance and I didn't do that. Well, yes, there are times that you should spend doing things and doing things correctly, and then there's time that some people say you're wasting time. You know, if you need to sit back and relax, to think, to ponder what is, what was, to learn a lesson, because if you just keep going, you never learn, and so you just keep going on in this circle of madness. Some of us can call it stupidity, because if you're honest with yourself, you probably just every now and then pop yourself on the head and go, oh, that was stupid. And you're talking about yourself because you didn't learn your lesson. In short, time has value, and it's something that you have to make sense of that value. It has to mean something to you in your life. If it's time for you to relax, relax. Don't become stressed out over things. The other thing that really caught me was this week I was traveling through my local area, and I noticed that, yes, the time has changed and it's getting darker at an earlier hour and all the rest of that. And I noticed, because Mexico is much more of a life system that is more natural. Now here, because I grew up in the United States, I noticed that there isn't any such thing as having any work outside of maybe security and police and maybe a hospital, something like that. There is no sense of an 8-hour work shift. In other words, I go to work for 8 hours and somebody comes in and they work another 8 hours, and then somebody else comes in another 8 hours. In other words, a facility can stay open for 24 hours a day. Down here, it may start, depending on what business it is, start at sunrise or shortly thereafter, and somewhere around sunset, a lot of businesses close. A lot. Because most people down here, they don't really go out to look to work for somebody. They want to work their own businesses. There's a lot of small businesses down here. And I like to support small businesses. These people are working for their income. They're doing something for their life, and they're not trying to support a great big corporation. It's not saying that there aren't people that work in great big corporations. Yes, they exist down here. But, how do you identify your life? How do you see what you are trying to accomplish? Is your value set in time so much so that you have forgotten what it is to be a human being, what it is to be in tune with nature? Do you pay any attention to the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the sky, the seasons? I mean, is it only left to farmers and those in agriculture who actually pay attention to the cycles of seasons, to the cycles of days and evenings and rainy seasons and dry seasons and those seasons in between, the moderate seasons? These are people that understand what it is to be a part of life instead of just watching a clock. So I ask you today, how do you value your time? Is it something that you can work in and still feel that you're learning, contributing, and relaxing? Are you feeling that you are in tune with your creator, if you're one who believes in a creator? But if you don't, that's another subject. But are you one who feels in tune with all that is going on, not just the clock that fits on your smartphone, cell phone, wrist, or wall, or computer? What are you really attached to? How do you value time? With that, I leave you with that thought, and I hope that your weekend is a wonderful and fabulous weekend. Enjoy your time.
Think of the future that we could create.